Hey guys, Carmine, Bianco, WagerTalk.com. This is a quick and special edition of Stoppage Time. Myself and Nick Borrman of WagerTalk. We're going to look at the PSG Atalanta quarterfinal Champions League match. This takes place on Wednesday, and obviously our Stoppage Time show is on Thursday, and we'll be covering the other three quarterfinals. But we wanted to make sure we got this game covered as well. Nick, welcome.
Hey, thanks, Carm. Yeah, looking forward to talking about this game. We know I like Atalanta all year long, right? So,
Yeah, no,
but I don't know if our feelings change a little bit. So
yeah,
we'll see what we get for this
Yeah,
one.
we're trying to figure this one out. This is a good one. Obviously, these games are now being played in Portugal. The eight quarterfinalists will be playing there over the course of the next 4 days, Wednesday to Saturday. And this is the first one up. An interesting one. We looked at this Atalanta team, and we've been taking them throughout the Italian season, especially after the restart. They looked fantastic.
Yep.
We might have slightly differing views, but I think we can agree on a couple things on this game. PSG have had a couple tune-up games, both League Cup finals. They haven't looked all impressive in either one of them, but they got the job done. 1-0 over Saint Etienne, I believe it was, and then an extra time win. I think it was in penalties over Lyon. And
Yep.
Atalanta, by the same accord, seemed to have that high octane offense seemed to have fizzled down over the last three or four Serie A games. Any thoughts on a side here first? But we're going to talk about the total, and then I'll get you to lead right into the total if you'd like.
Sure. Well, if you asked me 4 weeks ago, I would have said Atalanta 1,000 times over. I mean, the way they were rolling, the way they were playing, the way they were scoring just looked like, this team was going to be last year's Ajax and just would start to roll through this Champions League. But you mentioned it to me the other day about, the last few games against, better defensive teams, they did struggle a little bit, and they weren't scoring at the same clip they had been before. The one thing that they have been doing well that people don't really talk about is defensively. They were the third best team in the league as far as expected goals against. So it's one little factor that comes into play here that most people are going to overlook. When you look at PSG, you look at Atalanta, you certainly think they're going to be high scoring. Well, they both are high scoring teams, so you think it's going to be a high scoring game. But listen, if this was a two-leg tie, home and away, PSG is the better team overall and the team that's probably going to move on. 90 minutes, one game, neutral field, anything can happen, right?
Yeah.
Quick early goal changes the whole dynamic. So the number has moved. So a couple of weeks ago, Atalanta was plus a quarter of a goal. They're now a full half a goal, so it's plus a half a goal. So money has moved it to PSG's side, and I think that's rightfully so. I think again they are the better team. They have the better players, but we got a lot of injuries going on here too, or people missing for other reasons. You got Mbappe obviously out for this match. Di Maria for PSG is also out for yellow cards, and then Ilicic on Atalanta side, who's their big man up front besides Zapata and Muriel is out. So a lot of key injuries there to keep in mind. And, I still lean to Atalanta at plus a half a goal on the side just because it's 90 minutes and anything can happen. Yeah. And I think they can, if they net a goal, PSG, you mentioned they played their two first games, but they haven't looked great offensively. They haven't played, and they're a solid team, but it takes a little while to get their legs back under them. So on the side, my lean is a little bit towards Atalanta. It's not a big one. I actually like the total more, as you alluded to, and for me, that's on the under, which I'll explain. But I'll let you chime in first.
Yeah, and I'm not going to disagree with you one way or the other on the side. I think I'm still trying to sort of look at the numbers and formulate an opinion. My thing has always been with any game or any competition that I handicap as I look at midfield more so because a very good midfield. I'm gonna have to hang this up here. Sorry, phone ringing in the background. Didn't turn the ringer off. Apologies. A very good midfield with a good defense can go a long way. It's one of the ways where I looked at when I handicapped the World Cup. I believe PSG have a very good midfield, and that makes it tougher on teams to sort of flow through and attack that back line like Atalanta did. And they ran into some problems towards the end of the season, especially so in that last game. Yeah, I saw it against Inter, who are absolutely flying right now. I've been
True.
betting in this Europa League as well too. So I'm just wondering with this PSG, with some guys like of Verratti in there. I know Kevin doesn't like him because he's Italian, I guess, but that's how the Irish are. It's just one of these things where I'm just wondering if they can, if they slow this team down. You got to give kudos to Atalanta to having that third best defensive record in Serie A, because the way in which they play, which is an all-out attack type team, usually teams that score a lot do concede, and the fact that they didn't bodes well for this team, which is why I tend to look at that under like 3.25 as well too. Just because of the fact that we haven't seen PSG hit full flight yet. The fact that Mbappe is out for this game, so yeah, they have Neymar, yeah, they have plenty of tools there with Icardi, but it doesn't always equate into goals. So I always think back to what Pep Guardiola said: the best the best defense is a good offense. When you have possession of the ball, you play well.
Yep.
Look at Man City, what they did to Real Madrid. Madrid, a team that loves ball possession, and they got none of it in that game.
Yep.
Pep's team just controlled that game throughout. So, with that said, Nick, let me get your thoughts on the total here.
Yeah, the under is the way I'm looking at it. I mean, again, you think of these teams, you think goals, 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 and against weaker opponents and teams they can outpossess. Yes, I think that's true. But listen, Atalanta, they came out of the break, they were scoring goals at will. But one thing you might not realize or remember is that their last 10 games, 8 of them stayed under this total. Only 2 went over, and the last 5, none of them went over. So they really weren't scoring quite at the same clip they were when they first came out of the break, and their defense still held up all the way through. They only allowed 1.1 expected goals against all season, which was, like I said, third best. PSG, best in League One,
Yeah.
0.78 expected goals against in the league. We know they're a possession team. We know they're going to limit teams' chances out of the break. And there are 2 cup matches, like you mentioned, Carm. They won 1-0, and they went 0-0. And won in penalties against Lyon. So I'm talking about 1 goal in 180 minutes played so far since their restart, which is only 2 games, has come into play. So I could see this being slow. I could see it starting off slow. I could see it taking a little while to get some rhythm going. And buying it right now under 3 is right at even money. You can get that quarter of a goal for, I'm seeing like -127, -128, call it -130. I think it's worth buying. I think 3 is probably the highest this thing goes. And I like the under more than the side.
Yeah,
here.
and I tend to agree with you. And sometimes an indication of such is you look at some of those correct score lines, and the lowest price is on a 1-1 draw plus 650. The next highest price is a 2-1 score line for PSG, and then you're seeing like even the next one after that is a 1-0 PSG or a 2-1 Atalanta. So all those numbers sort of key off of the lowest one, which is a 1-1 draw in this game. And then they figure if a team does go ahead 2-1, that could very well be the final score line. This isn't like another sport like hockey where they're pulling the goalie. I understand they're not doing that here, so it doesn't always equate into late goals if you're down 2-1. Yeah, you're pushing the issue, but the other team is defending a lot better as well too. 3 seems to be the sort of the key number here. So if you can get that quarter goal and just pay a little bit of juice, because the under 3 is plus money right now, I'm fully in with what you're saying here, Nick. In that 3.25 under is probably a solid bet here.
Yeah. Again, I want to see Atalanta go through. I like them. They're a fun team to play, and that's nothing against PSG. They're a good team. I don't have anything bad to say about them. But I think they're just a fun team. I think they'll keep a lot of public's interest because a lot of people have been talking about them recently as a fun, exciting team to watch. So I hope they make it through. But my money is better spent, and I think your money's better spent on the total going with the under in this one than necessarily side. But my lean is if I had to choose a side, would be Atalanta. But either way, I think it'll be a good match. I'm excited for this Champions League to return and get going.
All right, Nick, I appreciate you taking the time to come on and do this with me. For you guys watching there, this is obviously up on Tuesday, but the game is on Wednesday. I've put out a coupon code Soccer10 will get you $10 off of any soccer package on Wednesday only. So on Wednesday only, you can use that coupon and get $10 off of any of Nick's soccer packages, any of mine, Kevin's and Pavlos as well too. So good luck to all you guys out there. Nick, thanks for stopping in and doing this with me.
Yeah, thanks, Car. See you guys. Good luck.